So today I'm going to show you how to make this gorgeous double daisy flower wreath. I think this turned out absolutely gorgeous and I can't wait to show you how I did it. Let's get started. So for this flower, the colors that I'm planning on using, I'm using purple, white, and a mint green for the leaves. This is a fabric mesh. These are all 10-inch rolls. And what I plan to do is I'm going to cut all of them into 10-inch pieces. Okay. Now this is the very beginning of the roll, so it's frayed and everything like that. Just go in about 1 inch and just using a wood burning tool, kind of go within the lines. Okay. And if you can stay within the lines completely, I would have to put my glasses on to do that, but that should work out just fine. Okay, so, and the reason to stay within the lines, it helps to cut down on the fraying. Okay, so I'd like to go all the way over to my line here at the very edge, go to the 10-inch mark, and there we go. And yes, some of it goes a little sideways. If you decide you don't want to do that and you just want to use a ruler, go straight down, please go ahead and do it that way. But when you are using a wood burning tool, definitely use a mask, put a fan on. Actually, if you could do it outside, that's the most perfect thing you could do. The fumes from the mesh, it can be toxic, so we want to make sure we take care of ourselves first. Okay, so we have the green. We're going to do the same thing with the white and the purple, cutting them in 10-inch pieces. We're only going to need 6 of this green. And the white and the purple, I don't know yet. I'll let you know. Check the description and I will let you know how many pieces that we need to use of each of these. And I do want to point out, this one here is just a stripe fabric mesh, where this one is checked. You can see there's a little bit of a difference, but I don't think it's going to really matter. If you use these together, it's going to be just fine. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to make this petal. Okay, this one is just nice and quick. Bring one corner up to the other. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a clip and just clip that shut. Okay. Then I'm going to take one other one, turn it into a diagonal. Okay. And I'm trying to keep all of my finished edges on the right, top right. Okay, bring that corner to corner again. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this right on top of this piece of white. So this purple is going to go on top of the white, and I'm going to leave just about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch. We really don't need to leave a whole lot of space there, because that white is just going to be a little accent. And I'm going to clip that again. Kind of make sure this is kind of even as you possibly can get it. Okay. Get my finger right here at the center and make a little crease there. Then I'm going to scrunch from this side, and then I'm going to scrunch from this side. Just 2 scrunches on each side. I'm going to grab a 6-inch zip tie, get it underneath, and zip tie that shut. And I'm not going super tight yet, okay? Bring that off and bring that so that it just kind of has that curve going this way, okay? You can see how it's cupped up here. We want it the cup down. And we are about, I don't know what, that's about 1.5 inches up. I'm not going to worry too much about perfection here, but I'm going to go ahead and pull that tight, clip that off. We're probably going to have to cut these ends off because that's just a little bit too much flare. I think that it's going to be difficult to put other petals on top of that. So we'll probably end up cutting that off. Now the second way we can make these, which is going to take a lot more time. So once again, corner to corner. But at this point, I will take my wood burning tool, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that I have the cut edge go just slightly over this finished edge. And same thing on this here. Okay, and I'm going to go from that corner and go down. And I was only just worried about that very first third. And then kind of get those to push that to the side. And try to make it as perfect as we possibly can. Then I do the same thing with this side. And see how those are fused together. And of course I'm gonna, want to fix anything like that. Okay, so I did that with the white, did it again with the purple. Again, making this cut edge go over just a tad and just a tad up this way. And I barely touched where that factory edge is, but it was just enough that it fused that together. And if you don't like the way it looks, go over top of it one more time. Okay, so we got that fused together. And so now what I'm going to do is just put the purple on top of the white. Again, just trying to make that, 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch down. And so yes, this is going to be a little bit longer down here. Okay. Scrunch, Then do 2 scrunches and 2 scrunches. And then kind of bring the sides together. Grab my 6-inch zip tie. Okay. And there you go. Now, this is the problem. This is why I decided I'm not going to do all of these this way. Number one, it takes a lot more time. And then once you kind of start to pull these out, guess what? This came unfused and it doesn't look right. So it's kind of, it didn't work the way I thought it would. It does have a little bit more of a crisper, very tip top, if you take a look at that, but it's really not that much of a difference. So I'm not going to worry about taking the extra time to do the fused method. Now, I did already do about 10 of these petals with that fused method. So again, when I did that, I didn't realize that it wasn't going to work. So it's going to be a lot easier just to do it the first way I showed you and go with that. Okay, so I pulled my glass cutting board back out. Now I can use the wood burning tool to cut this, but I'm just going to use a rotary cutter because that's going in the very bottom and I'm not too worried about what it's going to look like. So I'm just going to go from corner to corner. Okay, now I have my iron. If you have one of those Cricut irons, go ahead and use that. That'll work out perfectly fine. And then I have this piece of parchment paper. Okay, now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put this in half. Okay, I'm going to see if this, I know this works with poly burlap. I'm not sure if this is going to work with this fabric mesh, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to right there at that crease, kind of bring this over. Okay, so you can see just that very tip, that I'd say the top half is all I took that iron to, but it has that little fused effect right there. And I think that will give it a nice little vein look. So here I have 2 of these that I had already cut. I got that little vein going through them. Squeeze that shut and use a clothespin to keep that shut. Take the second one, scrunch that shut. Put them side by side. Take a zip tie. And there you go. Okay, so I'm going to make 6 of these to go around the outside of my ring form. Okay, so I'm using a 14-inch wreath form from Wreaths of Joy. If you want one of these, or however many of these you want, go to the link in the description and type in, when you get 2 wreaths of joy, type in crooked 10 and you will get 10% off of your order. Okay, so I just wanted to show you this. I got this form here. I'm going to start with our leaves. And what I'm going to do here, right where these connectors are, okay, I'm going to go like crisscross right here. I'm going to start my zip tie and put this in, but I'm going to put it to the side and zip tie it shut. Okay, yeah, I know it goes to the side just a little bit, but I think it'll work out just fine. Okay, and I'm going to keep doing that on each one of these. And right where that crossbar meets that second ring. Okay, so I have these in here. Now, if this bothers you that they're going one way too much or facing the other way or anything like that, and you want them to go straight out, all we have to do is crisscross the zip ties going the opposite way, and it helps to straighten it out. So I'm going to do that going all the way around. I have this going this way, so I'm going to go the opposite way. And it just kind of helps to make it go straight out. Okay, so I have all of the leaves on, and so now I'm going to go ahead and start on the petals. Okay, I'm just going to start pulling them out. I went ahead and cut the bottoms off just so because I was thinking they're going to be too big and they were going to get in the way. So I went ahead and cut those off. But all I'm going to do, I'm just going to put 2 per section. Since this is 6 sections, that means there's going to be 12 petals on that first, well, the second ring from the outside. We never use that outside ring. And you know what? I'm using 6-inch zip ties. I think I'm going to switch and go to the 8-inch. Okay, so at this point, just adjust the petals where you want them. Again, if they are going one way too much, go ahead and crisscross the zip ties to straighten these petals out, which I think I'm going to go ahead and do just because I actually kind of want to see them go out a little bit straighter. Yeah, you can see from the back, you can see how we have one zip tie going this way, the other zip tie going this way. Same thing with these leaves. They're crisscrossed. That just helps to make it straighter. So I'm going to keep doing this all the way around, and I'll meet you back here. We are ready to go to our second row, and I'm going to just put my zip ties right at the edge where this ring is up on top. Okay, and again, I'm going to stick with the 8-inch, And I'm going to go in between. I'm going to go like right here where that crossbar is, where we put our leaves, and then right in between these two. Again, we're just going to do like 2 per section. Even though these are a little bit wider than the plastic canvas that I normally use, I'm going to go in 1 hole, skip one of these holes, and come out the other. Okay, so I have this done. What we could do, we could just make sure that they're all, one side is overlapping the other. Okay, I actually don't want that with this. What I want to do is just have one over top of the other, like kind of like this, like this one on top, this one behind, this one on top, this one behind. Okay, that way it almost looks like a 3rd layer without it being a 3rd layer. So I'm going to go on with the 3rd layer, and I'm only going to use 8 petals this time. And I'm going to use this grid of the on this form as my guide. Okay, so since I'm seeing these going straight up and down, straight across, that's what I'm going to use at like right now. So I'm going to start here, just go in maybe an inch from that last petal. Then on either side. Okay, so now that we have those 4 in, I'm going to do one right in between. Okay, so we just have our last layer of petals to do. And what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to go at an angle in between these. Okay, so these last 4 are going to be really tight. Try to get that right in between these 2. Okay, so that is super tight, but they're in there. And let's try to get that in just a little bit. Okay, if you have anything that doesn't look right, maybe try to tuck it in or something, just to kind of make it look a little bit better. Okay, and so now all we have to do is put our center in, and I think we're pretty good. So for our center, I'm just going to be using these 6-inch discs. Let me see. Oh, I take that back. These are 5-inch discs from the Dollar Tree. There's 2 in a pack. I'm going to use that. I have some rope that I got off of Amazon. I will have the link in the description. I'm going to be using my hot glue gun and some greening pins. I will have links for all of these, well, except for anything from Dollar Tree, but I will have links in my description. Okay, so as my glue is heating up, what I'm going to do, I could leave this disc completely full, okay? But what I'm going to do, right here along this edge, I'm going to take just a cheap Dollar Tree steak knife. Not Dollar Tree, I think I got this at Dollar General, but I'm just going to trim this down. And then I'll use another piece of styrofoam to just gently kind of even it out, sand it out. And then you'll see it'll have more of a curved look. And I want that curved look. Okay, I'll be right back. I have my rope here. You can see what I did. I just kind of smoothed that edge down a little bit on this styrofoam disc. I had these greening pins. The greening pins are originally 2 inches long. What I did, I cut them down to an inch, inch and a half, just so that there's a less likely of a chance of me going through this styrofoam, because when I put them in, I'm going to try to go in at an angle, but when it's a full 2 inches, that's going to be kind of difficult. So I went ahead and cut those down. I may need to use some more, I don't know, but I have 1, 2, 3, I have 6 made. So, okay, what I'm going to do here in the very beginning, I'm going to go ahead kind of as close to the center as I possibly can. I'm going to put the greening pin through the rope. Okay, there we go. And at an angle, so it's not coming out the back. Right there, you can see it's a very, very close, but it's not coming out. So we're good. Okay, so I'm going to use my hot glue gun. Oh shoot, I forgot to do something else first. So forgive me. What I needed to do is put some wire into my styrofoam first. So just ignore that glue. Ignore that I did all that. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this 18-inch long piece of wire, stick that down through the center first, because this is what we're going to attach. We're going to use this to attach it to the wreath. Okay. I'm going to kind of flip these on either side like that, and there you go. Okay, now I'm going to put this rope down into the center right there. Okay, now we're good to go. So now we glue it, and we're just gonna kind of spin this around. We want to make sure we go over top of like that little, we don't want to see any of that pin that we used. We don't want this wire to be seen. That little frayed edge of the rope, we want to hide that too. So try not to burn yourself. Okay, so right here at the end, I know I got some strings of hot glue on here, but I got all the way around to the edge. Now this right here, I'm gonna definitely try one more time and get one of these greening pins in here and just kind of push that down in. Again, at an angle to make sure that greening pin does not come out. Okay, so I have my flower back here. We have our center. I'm just going to pull those wires back straight, and I'm just going to stick them right through this center of this wreath. Come around out the back. Okay. And just tie it off. Just twist it. Make sure this is where you want it before you actually cut the wires any shorter. But I think this is going to work. Cheers, everybody. We're done with this absolutely gorgeous double daisy petal wreath. I think it turned out absolutely gorgeous. I think the white behind it really makes the purple pop. And you could do this with any color. Just let your imagination go. You can do so many different colors. You could do light blue on dark blue. You can do, you know, light pink and dark pink. You could do, you know, yellow and orange. Whatever colors you want to come up with, do it. I want you to just let your imagination go crazy with it, okay? I'm so excited about this. I absolutely love it. I hope you love it as much as I do. So cheers, everybody. My name is Patty Davis. I'm with Crooked Tree Creations, and I'll see you in our next video.